School's out. It's finally summer break, the moment I've been waiting for from the very beginning. I tell myself that I'm going to be productive. I've set goals, I'm ambitious, and I'm hoping that this summer I will get tons of work done. However, it just doesn't go that way. The first day goes by, second day goes by, I sit around on my bed, scrolling, I watch TV, I eat junk food, I play video games. I do everything but the work I'm supposed to do. I procrastinate all day. But then I found certain tools that when I started to use and implement into my daily routine, my procrastination was gone, it was cured, and I wasn't procrastinating anymore. I was actually excited and ready to do my work when it needed to be done, and I would even get it way before the deadline. So how did I get to this point? How did I get to this point where I no longer procrastinate and I'm actually excited to do my work? Well, there are a couple of things that I want to share with you, and that when you start to implement, you will see massive changes and your productivity will increase and procrastination will decrease. So number one is something known as eat the frog. So if you were made to eat a frog at dinner time, would you eat it before or after dessert? A lot of people would say after dessert. They will want to eat the dessert and push off eating the frog until as late as possible. They want to avoid doing the hard thing. However, the wise people among us would say, I want to eat the frog before dessert. That way I can get the hard thing over with, and then I can have the nice thing afterwards, which will cleanse my palate. So eat the frog is basically the concept that you should do the very hardest thing on your to-do list. For example, I'm a YouTuber. My very hardest task is to record these videos. And guess what? I woke up 10 minutes ago and now I'm recording these videos. I'm doing the hardest task first in the morning. That's the whole principle of eat the frog. You do the hardest thing very first thing in the morning, and so you get it out of the way. When you avoid doing the very hard thing, it's like a mental illness chipping at your mental well-being. You're sitting there like enjoying your breakfast and you're like, fuck, I gotta go to the gym. And when you get home from school or from work, you're like, fuck, I gotta go to the gym. But had you gone to the gym in the morning, or had you done that really, really hard task in the morning, your whole day could have been left not worrying about having to do that task. And another tip I can give you is make sure you do the eat the frog thing in the morning, because I just find that less people are awake in the morning, and it gives you this more solo quiet time. The second thing, which I've actually never heard anybody speak of, is, well, I learned it from a podcast, but it's actually to do something harder than the thing that you're avoiding. This is kind of common sense, and yet nobody does it. If there's something that you're avoiding, why not do something harder than the thing you're avoiding, so that the thing you're avoiding now doesn't look as intimidating? Probably the easiest way to do this is to take a cold shower every morning, because the cold shower is probably the hardest thing you will do all day, and then any other task will seem less hard. So basically I take a cold shower and then I do the eat the frog thing, so it's a very hard thing, and then afterwards I do a hard task, but the videos feel less hard because I've already conquered a dragon. I've already jumped over a wall, and conquering a very hard challenge is just proof that you can conquer another challenge, right? Jumping over a very tall hurdle is simply proof that you can jump over the smaller one. And so doing something harder than the thing you're avoiding is probably the greatest way to actually do the thing that you're avoiding. The third one is mental health and dopamine detoxing. So, do you think that a person who's mentally healthy, who's happy all the time, wants to procrastinate, that they want to indulge in bad habits in order to avoid doing the hard work that they know they have to do? No. A mentally healthy person loves working hard and loves making progress to their goals. And so, there's a mental health video in my channel. It's probably one of the very first videos, it is kind of old. It's like 3 months old. But you can, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of how to improve your mental health. So gratitude, do gratitude journaling, go outside more, nature, sunlight exposure, especially for your circadian rhythm, and meditate. Meditation, probably the single greatest self-improvement habit out there. So do those 3 things more and your mental health will start to improve, and you'll see that as your mental health improves, your procrastination and your not wanting to do the work will decrease. And I linked mental health and dopamine detox because I feel like they're quite similar. But dopamine detox is essentially the act of cutting out cheap dopamines and cutting out cheap dopamine sources such as scrolling on TikTok, playing video games, eating junk food. And I believe that when you do that, when you cut out the cheap dopamine habits, which are essentially the bad habits, well, you make the good habits or the hard things, the low dopamine activities, feel much more fun. So simply, cut out the bad habits, cut out the watching YouTube videos while eating junk food, or scrolling while you're eating greasy Cheetos. Slowly decrease the amount of bad habits you do over time, and you'll see that good habits actually feel more fun. I know I said 3, but this is a bonus one. The 4th one to stop procrastinating is actually to change your identity. Because you might have had these moments in class when the teacher's like, who here procrastinates? And you're like, oh, I procrastinate. But that's not how you want to see yourself. You don't want to see yourself as the person who procrastinates. Because then you link, the person you are to procrastinating. And so it starts to feel normal to procrastinate, but that's not how it should be. You should actually see yourself as a very productive person who enjoys working and who therefore does not procrastinate. You should see yourself as the guy who does the work on time and even gets it before the deadline. Because when you start to see yourself as that person, you simply start to act like that person more. It's easy, right? You identify as a person and you start to see yourself as that person more, right? Does that make sense? Alright, I hope this helped you, and I cannot wait to see the progress that you make. Cheers, bro.